The latest discussion surrounding a potential $2,000 dividend-style payment has created a wave of curiosity, hope, and confusion, especially among seniors, retirees, and people living on fixed incomes. Many older adults are trying to understand whether this payment is real, when it might arrive, and who would receive it first. With so much information circulating, it is important to slow down, take a clear look at what is actually being discussed, and understand which parts are confirmed facts and which parts are proposals still under review. The goal of this script is to calmly explain the situation in simple language so that you can understand how these conversations may affect you or your family. Over recent weeks, many people have seen headlines claiming that $2,000 dividend checks have been confirmed. It is understandable why those headlines would grab attention, especially for seniors who are already struggling with rising prices. However, the truth is more nuanced than the headlines suggest. What is being discussed is not the same as the stimulus checks that were sent during the pandemic. Instead, the concept being talked about is a dividend-style payment tied to economic policies, revenue sources, or reforms that certain leaders have spoken about publicly. This type of payment would work differently from emergency relief payments. It would be based on an economic philosophy that aims to return money to citizens using government revenue streams or trade-related funds rather than pandemic-related emergency aid. That is why the word dividend matters. Normally, a dividend is a payment given to shareholders from a company's profits. In the context of national policy, the word is being used to describe the idea of returning economic gains directly to the public. This does not mean individuals are considered shareholders in a company. Instead, it reflects a philosophy that citizens should receive a share of economic benefits created through trade reforms, tariffs, or other revenue mechanisms. This concept has been mentioned alongside the figure of $2,000, which is why that specific amount has appeared in so many discussions. It is important to recognize that public statements about these ideas do not mean checks are already being mailed. Policy proposals must go through legal steps, congressional approval, budgeting procedures, and administrative planning before any payments can be legally issued. While the discussion is active and gaining attention, it has not yet reached the stage where money is guaranteed or scheduled. Seniors who have seen bold headlines should understand that confirmation in political language often refers to acknowledging an idea, not finalizing a program. One of the biggest reasons seniors are watching this conversation closely is the ongoing struggle with the cost of living. Even with annual cost of living adjustments added to Social Security benefits, many retirees feel their purchasing power is shrinking. Grocery prices remain high, electricity bills have climbed, medical costs continue increasing, and housing expenses strain fixed incomes. When talk of a large payment surfaces, it naturally raises hope that some immediate relief could be coming. At the same time, it can create anxiety when details are unclear. A phrase that has been circulating in discussions about the hypothetical payment says that the first group receiving it might surprise people. This has led to endless speculation. Many assume seniors on Social Security would automatically be considered the first group. Others believe low-income households or working families would come first. In reality, the first group being discussed in these policy ideas is not always defined by age, but rather by administrative practicality. In other words, the easiest groups to reach with already verified information could be considered first. One possibility is that people who file taxes regularly could be among the first groups, simply because the government already has their confirmed information such as addresses, bank details, and identity verification. This does not exclude seniors, but it does mean that retirees who continue filing simple tax returns, even when they owe nothing, may be positioned more efficiently for any future payment program. This is one reason why many financial advisors encourage retirees to file, even if their income is minimal. Another possibility is that individuals already receiving federal benefits could be prioritized. This includes retirees receiving Social Security, seniors or adults receiving SSI or SSDI, and veterans receiving VA benefits. These groups are easier to reach because the government already distributes monthly payments to them. While none of this is formally confirmed, it explains why so many seniors are paying close attention. There is a realistic administrative pathway that could include them early in any distribution process. One concern seniors often have is whether a $2,000 dividend payment would reduce their Social Security benefits or alter eligibility rules. Historically, one-time payments such as pandemic relief checks did not affect Social Security payments because they were treated as separate forms of income. However, each new program follows its own legal structure. Until there is an official announcement, seniors should avoid making assumptions. If a dividend-style payment were ever approved, the government would issue clear instructions about how it interacts with Social Security and other benefits. The same is true for SSI, which is one of the most sensitive programs because it has strict income and asset limits. In previous relief efforts, special rules were created to prevent one-time payments from reducing eligibility. Whether similar protections would be included in a future program would depend entirely on how lawmakers write the legislation. This is why seniors should avoid making financial decisions based on rumor and instead wait for confirmed guidance from official sources. Timing is another major concern. Even if a proposal gains momentum and eventually becomes law, payments would not arrive immediately. Policy changes take time, systems must be prepared, eligibility rules must be defined, and the government must ensure accurate distribution. During the pandemic, it took months to send checks even with emergency authority. A dividend-style payment connected to economic reforms could take even longer. Still, the fact that this idea is being discussed suggests increasing awareness that many Americans are struggling financially, particularly older adults. As the conversation continues, the most practical steps seniors can take include keeping Social Security information up to date, ensuring direct deposit information is accurate, and watching for official announcements from government agencies rather than relying on rumors or unverified videos. This also protects against scams. Scammers often use high-dollar payment rumors to trick seniors into providing personal information. Real government programs never require people to pay a fee or register through unofficial channels. Looking deeper at how a $2,000 payment could interact with long-term financial planning, it is important for retirees to understand that any such payment would be extra support, not a permanent change. Social Security remains the primary income source for most retirees, and its monthly structure does not change unless a separate law increases it. A dividend payment would likely be a one-time distribution designed to provide temporary relief rather than ongoing monthly boosts. For retirees with pensions, similar rules apply. Pensions are typically based on past work and contractual employer agreements. A government-issued payment would not modify those contracts. Some pension plans are coordinated with government benefits, but most do not change based on external one-time payments. Reviewing pension statements and staying informed can help ensure confidence and clarity. Taxes are another concern. Many seniors live on limited budgets and worry that receiving extra money could create a tax burden. Whether a future dividend payment would be taxable depends entirely on how lawmakers classify it. During past relief programs, special exclusions were created to prevent financial hardship. Until official guidance is issued, retirees should avoid assuming the worst or the best. Financial advisors often recommend that one-time payments be used to strengthen essential areas of life such as food, medicine, housing, and emergency savings. While a $2,000 payment can provide meaningful help, it should be handled thoughtfully. With inflation affecting daily necessities, even a single infusion of funds can help reduce stress. Seniors should prioritize their most important needs and avoid pressure to spend quickly. Expectations must also be managed carefully. Political conversations attract attention, especially when large dollar amounts are mentioned. However, not all proposals become law. It is healthier to treat these discussions as possibilities rather than guarantees. Budgeting should be based on income you already receive, not on speculation about payments that may never materialize. One encouraging aspect of these conversations is that they bring attention to the financial hardships older adults face. Even if the exact dividend payment does not become reality, the ongoing discussion can lead to other helpful changes such as expanded tax credits, stronger consumer protections, or improved benefit structures. These quieter policy shifts often have long-term positive effects. Risk of misinformation is real, and seniors should be cautious. Scammers often act quickly when news stories mention large payments. No legitimate payment ever requires someone to provide their bank information by phone or to pay a registration fee. Staying aware, asking questions, and seeking verification from trusted sources are essential practices. For seniors feeling overwhelmed by the constant headlines, it helps to step back and focus on what can be controlled. Budgeting carefully, planning ahead for medical needs, reviewing benefit statements, and staying organized can create stability regardless of political outcomes. A potential $2,000 payment, if it ever arrives, should be seen as a helpful bonus rather than the foundation of financial security. The broader debate about dividend-style payments reflects an important question about how economic gains should benefit ordinary Americans. Seniors who spent decades working, contributing to taxes, and supporting the economy deserve policies that respect their needs and protect their dignity. Whether relief comes through direct payments, stronger benefits, or improved protections against inflation, the underlying goal remains ensuring stability for older adults. In the end, the discussion about $2,000 dividend checks represents both hope and responsibility. Hope, because leaders are actively debating ways to provide relief during financially challenging times. Responsibility, because it is important for individuals to separate confirmed facts from speculation and to protect themselves from misinformation. By staying informed, staying calm, and staying prepared, seniors can navigate these conversations confidently and focus on the most important goal of all: maintaining stability, protecting well-being, and living with peace of mind during retirement.